guys, it's Lola at Core. We're going to do a video today looking at a bunch of different hip stretches. So first of all, we're going to look at stretching the adductors, which are these muscles on the insides of the thighs. And we're going to sit with our feet together. And this one's nice and simple. You bring your feet as close as you can. Use your elbows, where you're holding onto your, just above the ankles. Use your elbows to push the thighs out. And try to stay nice and tall with your upper body. Just holding it here. We're going to move on swiftly to our internal rotator stretches. So we're going to look at saddle and a single leg saddle. So for your saddle, I can't get my back all the way down straight away on this one. So if you have a foam roller or maybe some yoga blocks or even like a bunch of clothes or a towel, that would be fine. Just something to like support your back. So you might be here, and that's enough for you. It's going to be more of a quad stretch. But the idea is to come down to here, and then if you can, come down to your elbows, even better. And then if you can go all the way to the floor, that's great. Otherwise, you can rest your back. It's quite nice if you have something to support your head. I don't in this position. So because my feet are coming out here, my hips are rotating inward, so it's a nice internal rotator stretch for the hips. It's also stretching the hip flexors and the quads, so there we have it. So for the single leg version of that, all we're going to do is keeping one leg the same. I'll show you on this side. So one leg will be just stretched out, and actually you can get that foot right out, so you can get more of an internal rotation stretch here. And this one, it is easier to lie straight back down with, but I would suggest starting here, then once that feels good, come down to the elbows. Once that feels okay, you can slide down to the floor. If you want to put an extra stretch on, just think about tucking your pelvis underneath. Imagine you've got a belt buckle on, and you want to point that buckle up towards your belly button. Okay, so that's your internal hip rotators, and we'll move on to external hip rotators. So we're going to look at 3 different stretches. First one of the stretches is a pigeon stretch. So for this one, we're going to have one leg out in front. Bearing in mind, before we do this, my external rotators are quite tight. So I'm not going to be showing you a beautiful pigeon here. I'll show you from a different angle in a second. So my front leg is out in front of me. You want to have, ideally, it at a right angle, but if you're like me, it's going to be pointing back that way a little bit more. And then this back leg is going to come out. You can start up here. I like to hold my foot in place so it doesn't slide away. And then sort of the more into the stretch you get, you can come down maybe onto your forearms, maybe even resting your head on the floor. Things to note in this one is when you're here, you don't, so your hips will kind of want to be open like this because it makes it easier. So you want to try and bring that side hip down a bit, so you're twisting over. You probably see some people can get their glute down onto the floor. It's just all down to mobility, so just do what you can do. Double pigeon is much as it sounds, so it's just both the legs are at the front, so we're just going to bend one leg, pop the other one on top. You'll notice mine sticks up again, tight hips. Some people have it all the way down. You might also be up here. You can rest your arms on your leg, and what's quite nice in this one is to also stretch out the back, so just leaning over. And I tend to find I might start here, and after the end of a couple of minutes I've got my forearms on the ground, so there's a lot of movement available in this stretch. I'm not going to stay here for the 2 minutes, so we'll move on. If this is a bit much, the third stretch we're going to look at is just a crossing position. So it's kind of like you're crossing your legs, but we're not having that heel tucked under, we're just having that heel out in front. And then we're going to lean over, and the same as the other one, just gradually moving further down into the stretch. These ones are really nice to hold for quite a long time in all the ones we've looked at just now, because you will find there's a lot more movement available. Obviously do both legs as well, and stretch anything from 30 seconds to 2 minutes, although you can go as much as 5 minutes if you have the time, but who has the time? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.